There is a man who prays every single day, same time, same corner of the room, same words leaving the same lips, and from the outside, he looks consistent, devoted, unchanged. But something inside him has been going quiet for months. Not loud quiet, not the kind you notice right away, the kind that settles slowly, like dust on something that hasn't been moved in a long time. He still shows up, still performs every motion correctly, but the inside of it feels further away than it used to. And the strange thing is, he hasn't sinned more than before, hasn't pulled away deliberately, hasn't done anything that should explain this distance, so he assumes something is wrong with him. He doesn't know that what he is feeling is not abandonment. Ibn Arabi understood something about this that most people never get to hear. He wrote about a specific moment, a specific state that arrives before a person is lifted, not after they've fixed themselves, not after they've earned something, before, right in the middle of feeling like they've lost their grip. What looks like distance is actually preparation, and the part that was going quiet in him was never meant to stay. You didn't lose your faith, you lost your version of it, and that's the part no one prepares you for, because the version you had felt real, felt earned. You built it through something, through years, through nights, through things you survived that other people don't know about. And then one day you looked at it, and it felt thin, like something had been quietly removed from inside it. Like the structure was still standing, but the weight was gone. And you didn't tell anyone that. Because how do you say that? How do you sit across from someone who loves you and say, I don't feel what I used to feel. Not in the way I used to feel it. The words are the same. The actions are mostly the same. But the inside of it changed. And you've been carrying that quietly. Wondering if something broke. Wondering if you broke it. Wondering if this is punishment or passage or just loss. Ibn Arabi would say, it's none of those things. He didn't say it the way teachers say things. He said it the way a man says something after sitting with it for years. After the pain of it becomes quiet enough to hold. He said, before the servant is raised, they are shown, not taught, not instructed. Shown, and what they're shown is themselves, the version of themselves they couldn't see, the parts that were hidden even from their own eyes, the ways they were still attached to things they thought they had released, the love that was still mixed with wanting something back, the patience that was still secretly waiting for reward. You thought you had moved past certain things. You thought you were different now, and maybe you were. Maybe you genuinely changed. But there's always something underneath that, something even deeper that hasn't been touched yet. And that's what gets shown. I don't know when it started for you. Maybe it was a moment, maybe it was gradual, maybe you woke up one morning and something just felt different, quieter, like the world was still moving, but you weren't moving with it the same way. Things you used to want, they started feeling heavier somehow. Not bad, just heavy, like carrying something that used to feel light. Like the excitement left the room, and you don't know where it went, and you keep trying to find it again. You go back to the same places, the same conversations, the same things that used to work, but they don't work the same anymore. And that's confusing, because nothing is wrong, nothing actually happened, but something changed. Ibn Arabi talked about the Maqam, the station, not as a destination, not as something you arrive at and then you're done. He talked about it as a state that the heart moves through, and the heart doesn't move through these states easily. It doesn't just upgrade. It doesn't just learn a lesson and level up. It gets stripped, piece by piece, layer by layer. The things you were holding onto without realizing you were holding them. The identity you built around your pain, the way your suffering became part of who you are, the story you told yourself about what happened to you, the way you became comfortable in a certain kind of sadness, All of that gets shown to you, not removed. First, shown, because you can't let go of something you can't see. And what's interesting, what Ibn Arabi describes in a way that doesn't sound like anything else, is that this showing is itself a mercy. The fact that it's being shown to you, the fact that the veil is being lifted from your own perception of yourself. Most people never see this. Most people live their whole lives inside the story they tell about themselves, inside the version of themselves they have decided they are. They never get shown the underneath. You did, and I think that's why it hurts in this specific way. Not like grief, not like anger, more like recognition, like seeing something in a mirror that you didn't know was there, and you can't look away from it, and you can't pretend you didn't see it. There's a kind of ache in that, a very specific kind. When you realize something about yourself that you spent years not realizing, when you see the thing underneath the thing, the real reason you needed certain people, the real reason you chased certain things, the real reason you kept returning to certain patterns even when you knew they weren't good for you. You thought it was love, or longing, or something beautiful and complicated. And maybe it was all of that. But underneath it, there was something else, something smaller, something more afraid, something that needed to be seen, needed to be reassured, needed proof. And when that gets shown to you, you go quiet. I think that's the silence people don't talk about. Not the silence of peace. Not the silence after resolution. This is the silence of seeing something so clearly that all your old explanations fall apart. You don't know what to say about yourself anymore. The version of yourself you were presenting, even to yourself, starts to feel incomplete, like a drawing that was missing half its lines. And now you can see the missing half, and you don't know what to do with that. So you become quieter, in conversations, in your own head. The noise that used to fill the space starts to feel unnecessary. The things you used to spend energy on start to feel like distraction. Not bad distraction, just not the thing. And people around you notice. They say you seem different. They ask if you're okay. And you say, yes. Because how do you explain this? Ibn Arabi described the Qalb, the heart. He didn't describe it the way people usually describe the heart. He described it as something that turns. The word itself comes from that. Something that is constantly in motion, constantly shifting between states. And he said that the heart has a mirror, and this mirror reflects what is real, but the mirror gets covered with attachment, with desire, with the accumulation of things you wanted, things you feared, things you tried to control. In time, and the cleaning of this mirror is not gentle. It doesn't feel like purification. It doesn't feel like being made clean. It feels like loss, like the things you built around yourself are being taken apart, like the structures you created to feel safe are being removed, and you're standing in what feels like empty space, wondering what's left. The raising of the station, the Maqam being elevated, it doesn't come from achievement. It doesn't come from doing more, praying more, performing more, understanding more. It comes from something being removed, and the thing being removed is always something you were identified with. That's the hard part. It's not the removal of bad things. It's the removal of things you thought were you, the way you thought about yourself, the story you were living inside, the particular kind of person you had decided you were. And when that gets taken, you feel like you don't recognize yourself. Have you felt that? Not who am I in a dramatic sense, not an identity crisis, more like a quiet disorientation, like you've been somewhere so many times you stopped noticing it. And then one day you look up and you realize you're looking at it differently. The same place, the same life, the same people maybe, but you're looking from somewhere slightly different, and you can't go back to the old angle. That's the Barzakh, the in-between. Ibn Arabi wrote about it. The threshold, the space that is neither here nor there, where what you were is no longer quite you, and what you are becoming hasn't arrived yet. Most people spend their whole lives avoiding this space, because it's uncomfortable in a way that nothing else is. There's no solid ground, no clear answer, no version of yourself that feels fully right. You're between something, and you have to live there for a while. People will try to help you out of it. They'll try to fix it, give you reasons to feel better, remind you of what you have, remind you of what you've built, remind you of who you are, and you'll nod, because they mean well. But somewhere inside you'll know that that's not the point, that the discomfort isn't something to be fixed, that what you're moving through is actually the thing, not the problem, the process. And there's a difference. Ibn Arabi wrote about what happens when the Kashf comes, the unveiling, when something that was hidden becomes suddenly, undeniably visible. He described it as overwhelming, not beautiful in the way people imagine spiritual experiences to be beautiful, not warmth and light and peace, more like clarity so sharp it almost hurts, like your eyes adjusting to something they weren't ready for. And the thing being unveiled isn't usually a secret about the universe. It's usually a secret about you, the parts of yourself you built the whole structure of your life around, without knowing that's what you were doing. The wound you never named, but organized everything around. The thing you needed that you never let yourself say you needed. And when that gets shown, there's nowhere to hide it anymore, not even from yourself. This is what people miss when they think about spiritual elevation. They think it's about going up, getting better, becoming more, gaining something. And in a way, yes, eventually. But the going up is preceded by something that doesn't feel like going up at all. It feels like descent, like reduction, like being made less somehow, like the parts of yourself that you were proud of are being questioned, are being looked at more carefully, and some of them don't hold up. Not because you were bad, but because they were built on need, and need doesn't survive certain kinds of light. There's something Ibn Arabi described that I keep coming back to. He said that the servant who is being prepared for a higher station is given a very specific kind of suffering, not the suffering of punishment, not the suffering of consequence, something different, the suffering of seeing clearly, seeing yourself without the softening, without the excuses you normally give yourself, without the narrative that makes your choices understandable, just you, as you are, in this moment, without the story around it. And that is, it's a lot, because most of us never see ourselves that way. Most of us always have a reason, always have a context, always have something that explains it, and then the explanation goes quiet, and you're just left with what's true. I think this is why people change after certain kinds of silence. Not the silence they choose, the silence that chooses them. The period where things stop working the way they used to, where the distractions stop distracting, where the noise loses its noise somehow, and you're left sitting with yourself, really sitting with yourself. Not the self you perform, not the self you explain to people, the actual one, the one underneath, all of that. And it's uncomfortable, and it's necessary, and it's actually a kind of gift, even though it doesn't feel like one, even though it feels like the opposite of a gift, like something being taken. But maybe the taking is the gift. Maybe what's being removed is exactly what needed to be removed for what's coming next to have space. You can't fill something that's already full, even if what it's full of is old, even if what it's full of is familiar, even if what it's full of is you. The version of you that was built before you understood certain things. That version can't carry what comes next, not because it was bad, but because it was built for a different weight, a different kind of carrying, and so it has to be rearranged, not destroyed, rearranged. Ibn Arabi used a word, tajalli, the self-disclosure, the moment something reveals itself. He said that everything is always revealing, always disclosing. The world is in a constant state of showing itself. And most of us are too busy constructing our version of it to actually receive what's being shown. But in certain states, in the Barzakh, in the in-between where your old frameworks stop working, you become able to receive, because you're not defending a version of things anymore, because the version fell apart. And in that open space, something gets through that couldn't get through before, not because you earned it, not because you figured it out, because you stopped being so full of your own explanations. I don't know where you are in this right now. Maybe you're at the beginning of it. Maybe things just started feeling heavy and you don't know why yet. Maybe you're in the middle, somewhere in the Barzakh, standing between what you were and what you haven't arrived at yet. Or maybe you're closer to the other side than you think. The kind of clarity that comes after the confusion, the quiet after the noise, the knowing that doesn't feel like anything you learned. It feels like something that was already there, that you finally have access to. I don't know. I can't know that about you, but I know this. The fact that you're in it, really in it, not running from it, not explaining it away, not covering it with activity or noise. That's not nothing. That's where the real thing begins. Most people never get here, not because they couldn't, but because they always found a way out before it could finish what it was trying to show them. You didn't, or you couldn't, and I don't know which one it is for you, but either way, you're here. Maybe this isn't the end of what you were. Maybe it's just the part where you stop recognizing yourself, and maybe that's exactly where it needed to begin.